Hey everybody, this is Halstead and Andrew McMillan with REH CPA. Today we want to talk about tax scams and kind of how to avoid those. A pretty common scam that goes around are people purporting to be, part of the IRS, and they're reaching out to taxpayers and claiming they owe back taxes, things like that. I've got Andrew McMillan here with me today. Andrew, you're familiar with these scams we hear about time from time. What can people do to avoid these tax scams?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I always like to make sure clients understand how the IRS is going to communicate with you. The IRS is never going to call you and leave threatening voicemails or threatening messages saying you owe back taxes and demanding payment, or saying, we'll settle for less if you pay today, things like that. All of those scare tactics that someone may use to try to get you to do something quickly. Like, the IRS is never going to call you and do any of that. Almost always the first way the IRS is ever going to reach out to a taxpayer is through mail, snail mail. I mean, they'll mail you a letter saying, hey, you've got a balance due, or we propose a balance due, something to that effect. It's very generic. It's very just, this is what we have on our end. We think you owe this amount of money. We need to have some correspondence from you and talk about it. So it's not threatening. There are some specific dates on there that you want to make sure that you respond to the letter timely, but it's not someone calling you, threatening you to do something quickly, act now, things like that. So if you get any of those voicemails, anything like that, even text messages these days, definitely just be super skeptical. Always give us a call if you're concerned about something. Never give any information over the phone. And you can actually even report those numbers to the IRS. You can go to the IRS website, report the number to them, and they take steps towards getting them shut down. So definitely just understand how the IRS is going to communicate with you and that's going to be through your mail. That's one thing I always make sure clients understand. Right. So, but kind of in addition to that, I mean, there's some pretty sophisticated criminals out there. They can send letters that even look a bit official at times. I've seen some letters, I'm like, man, that's a really good letter. They tried really hard. It definitely can be a little bit hard to decipher. So if you ever get anything in the mail that you're concerned about, definitely reach out to us, let us know. We see a lot of these letters, we kind of know what to look for, and you can always just call the IRS and make sure, you can call the IRS and talk to an agent, and they'll let you know if you have anything on your account that needs to be looked into. So don't trust anything, just definitely verify, make sure that you know it's correct before you start writing any checks or making any payments on anything. Another thing these days is just identity theft is a big thing as well. Not only people trying to scam you out of your money, but also steal your identity. So a couple ways to, really the best way the IRS has right now to protect yourself against identity theft is getting a 6-digit ID PIN. You can get those through their website. You can create an account. You can get a 6-digit ID PIN. The IRS will, you can get it within your account, but they'll also send you a letter every year in January. And having that PIN, you have to have that PIN to file your tax return electronically. If you don't have that PIN, it's going to get rejected. So we've seen scammers out there try to file tax returns real quickly. If they've got some socials, they'll try to get big refunds, file as soon as they can, and get those refunds, so that it locks you out of being able to file your tax return electronically. So having that PIN is key. So if you feel like you've had some fraud on your account, or you're just a little skeptical, or just want to make sure that you take all steps necessary you can, I would get that ID PIN. That's key there. So
awesome. Well, that's really good information, Andrew. So if you have any questions, if you've received a phone call or a letter from the IRS and you think it's somewhat, might involve fraud, feel free to give us a call and we'll help you evaluate that. Thanks.